So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with our little program here. And one of the things we do education. I'm Lori Gibson with Home for Life, and we're specialists in home modification, where we've been in construction for 35 plus years, but really have become certified aging in place specialists. And we teach about it. We teach it at rehab centers, hospitals, community centers, just so that there's awareness out there of simple things that you can change to remain independent. So that's really why I'm here. Everybody, you hear fall prevention, but it really, really does make a big difference to put a few of these things in place. So this is just a little bit of background about us as a company. The National Association of Home Builders created this program, Certified Aging in Place, back about 12, 13 years ago. And back then, there was maybe 8 people in the seminars when we were certified. Now, there's a 2-year waiting list. So it's really become, evident that people want to remain in their homes as long as they physically can. So we become certified in universal design, which is also if you're doing any changes in your home, it really makes sense because you're doing things for accessibility, adaptability, visitability. So just kind of think of those types of concepts while we're going through some of these products. I myself I'm super engaged in all these different communities and trying to, create the awareness of you don't have to do a complete remodel to, remain and look at fall risks. And I have even home assessments you can do on your own to look through your home and look and see if there's anything that you can make changes with. So we'll start with some of the products in a minute. We have a couple of stats here. Now this is 90%. So we get our statistics from AARP and the CDC that 90% of older Americans 50 plus want to stay in their current homes. But most of the homes are not designed to accommodate those needs. So when you're talking about changing things, we meet a lot of people. Like for instance, you want to make a barrier-free shower in your home. You want to take the tub out. You want to make it a barrier-free entryway so there's no fall risk. When you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're looking for a certified specialist to assess and install so it's done correctly. I had somebody recently that spent $8,000 on her bathroom to create a barrier-free entryway, and they did not drain it properly and put a linear drain, so all the water was coming out onto the floor, which you would step out, which is a worse fall risk than before. So you have to make sure you get estimates and be careful with, if you ever have questions, my card's there. We will answer any questions that you may have with regards to, the person's credentialing. U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention defines aging in place as the ability to live in one's own home and community safely, independently, and comfortably regardless of age, income, or ability level. So this runs the gamut of anybody with a new diagnosis, any age, any mobility concerns, and really some of these things are a real game changer, especially new technology that we find with people that have some disabilities. It really does change their life to have Alexa incorporated. We did 2 people that were blind, and everything is Alexa incorporated. So they are so much more independent just by using this new technology. So let's go here, just a few stats. I'm only going to point out a few, and I know it's scary, but there's 1 in 4 Americans age 65 that falls each year. Every 11 seconds, an older adult is treated in the ER for a fall. And sadly, this next one, every 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. And we all have had that scenario where our loved one has had a fall and they're just not the same. It creates loneliness because now they're not doing things anymore that they used to do. There's just so many things that lead from that's why we're here to try to prevent whatever we can, prevent that injury. Home modifications can prevent 30 to 50% of all of these falls and injuries. It really makes sense to put some of these things in place, especially if you have mobility concerns. So When we talk to hospitals and rehab centers, skilled nursing facilities, we talk about how home modifications is part of the discharge plan. You have to, you go through getting this person successful, and then they're going to be, transitioning home. What is their home situation like? We've all been there. So we do a lot of discussion regarding making a smooth transition home so that they are successful. And here's what we're going to start with first. Our number one, Grab Bar 101. Huge into grab bars. We think as a company that grab bars should be a code. And I'm going to kind of show you why. This is what I see most of the time. I see these, there's a million different brands of these suction cup grab bars. See them all in the box, big box stores, the DME. Every single one of them, and you can barely see this one, but every one has a warning that it does not bear weight. So when you're really thinking it's going to help you in grabbing for it, if you're slipping, worse accidents are going to be caused because that fall is not going to be broken. Believe me, I talk to a lot of occupational therapists, and the people they're working with, this causes so many accidents. So if I can get one thing across, if you know anybody using these, get rid of the suction cup grab bars. It's so important. If you have one good grab bar, and this is an example of the ones we like, and this can be secured into any surface. We just have to make sure there's a stud created there. So it'll hold 325 pounds, this one grab bar, coming in and out of your entryway, shower, near the toilet area, hallway, bedroom. As long as we create a stud, it'll hold you. So when you grab onto it, you are going to have that support. Now, we also want you to know that because we all, have muted eyesight as we age, this is just a few of the million colors. You want a contrasting color to the tile that you have. Now, I know most people are like, I don't want to put that in my bathroom. I don't want to ruin my tile. We are experts and know how to put this in place at where your mobility concern might be. So we work with a care plan if needed. So I just can't stress enough how much this really does save people coming in and out of the shower, no matter if there's even a little lip there. That's a tripping hazard. Every quarter inch that's higher than a quarter inch is going to be a tripping hazard for you. So keep that in mind. Even if you have an easier walkway going into your shower, that lip right there is still, kind of a tripping hazard. It's better to be barrier-free. But if you have these grab bars, it will help you 50% of the falls. We put these also coming in and out of those two steps into your garage where, you can't really put a railing there. It's a really great way. You're carrying your bags in. We put these right outside that garage door if you have an attached garage. So we have bariatric ones. There's so many different kinds of grab bars where you can have them placed across your belly if you're sitting on the toilet. There's whatever your needs are, there is a grab bar for that. So highly stress making sure that you have the correct grab bars and get rid of those suction cup. There's a couple of things with grab bars. Number one, you have to make sure it's going on both sides into a stud. Even if you have something, we have to take out the tile and create a stud there. And that's where it's going to hold you, but it has to be done correctly. So if you're talking to a family member that's putting it in, that's a good suggestion. There are some grab bars that I'll show you later that are for people that really need help getting in and out of bed or off wherever they sleep. The security pole, that one's great, and it's like $300 installed, but it holds, oh my God, for the caregiver that's pulling somebody in and out of bed, it really makes a difference. And grab bars, if you don't have it in the stud, or if you're buying it offline and it's not ergonomically correct and it's too wide here, here's my grab bar. So they sell these online on Amazon, but if it's too wide here, then that's also an issue. They have to have two places, it'll say on here that it's ADA compliant. Our company does everything by ADA compliance, just makes sense. But if we had somebody who bought one and it was too wide and her arm slipped through and she was hanging there, because she was trying to grab for it and it just slipped through. So it has to be ergonomically correct. We're going to talk a minute about ramps. So now you see that, you know, you or your loved one is now in a wheelchair or walker, and you are needing a ramp. The one thing I want to point out is, well, we can do it in any type of product, whether it's incorporated into your landscaping. We have temporary ones that are those aluminum, you know, if it's something that you're temporarily in a wheelchair for, but you're rehabilitating. The key is that you have to have the space for the ratio of 1 to 12. So every 1 inch up, it has to be a foot out. So when you're looking at a situation where you have 6 steps going up to your front door and 6 steps behind the house, you could be talking about a 40-some foot ramp. And a lot of times you don't have the footprint for that, and it's very expensive. So you might want to go with something called a vertical platform lift if you're now in a wheelchair and walker and want that independence of coming in and out of your home. So just remember that that's code everywhere, that if you have 1 inch, it has to be a foot out. And there's a resting place. If it's going past a certain amount of footage, you have to have a resting place, a landing. You have to have continuous rails throughout. So it's really involved, and it's again, most times, if you need a ramp today, we have to pull a permit from your city, and then we also will, you know, give you different options. If it's a lot of stairs, we may be able to do a few other things. We even have outdoor stair lifts that we've put in the back end of somebody's house, because they will work outside as long as there's not a lot of snow on them. But if somebody can transfer, that's a pretty affordable option, is a straight stair lift outside. So they make a couple different models. But that's the ratio. Real quick on this thing here, on the left, it's a threshold ramp, and these are made out of recycled tires, and we have this product is great because it's kind of slip resistant. So you place it in front on both sides of the threshold that has a tripping hazard to it. And this is just an example. So every 1/4 inch is a tripping hazard. We cut these to measure, but it's a really good product for people that are now in a wheelchair or walker and shuffling, you know. So you could pass that around if you want to feel how the heaviness, the weight of it. So those are some ideas on ramps. And then we're going to the stair lifts, which, you know, there's the outdoor stair lift, a straight stair lift going straight up, not curvy. A straight stair lift costs about $4,000 installed, which is a lot of money, but it's not a lot compared to if you had the fall and your life has changed and now you have a hospital stay, a rehab. Believe me, I've heard a million stories, and it's really, for you to use both levels of your home and you want to use the upper level, it makes a lot of sense. And it creates such an independence for some people that, you know, now I've been rehab and I'm sleeping on the couch in the living room and I want to access the upstairs, or you have COPD, or it gives you more energy to do other things if you have, you know, the stair lift that takes away that all that exertion that you have going up and down the stairs every day. We had a gentleman that had refused to get it, did not want it. His wife was afraid of taking him up and down the stairs every day, that both of them were going to end up falling. So just didn't want to have it in the house, didn't want to go there. She insisted, saying, I'm putting this in, I'm using my own money, I'm going to get hurt if we both take the fall. So we ended up going in there and then giving them the whole tutorial on how to use it. And she was super excited because now she could bring her laundry and her garbage up and down, the grandkids. It doesn't go very fast, but it's great. So 3 weeks later, she calls up our office and says, you remember that guy that wouldn't even talk to our installers? He's up there all day long, up and down. And why? Because now he can do it. So it's such a game changer for a lot of people. We just recently had somebody who had a really severe COPD, and she loves her stair lift now because she has more energy to do other things. Otherwise, it was so exhausting, she'd be like laying in bed just from going up and down the stairs. So outdoor options, if you have a curvy stair lift, it's very expensive. They have to take a picture of every tread and measure, and it's custom built for that staircase. They could be about $13,000 to $16,000. So sometimes it makes sense to buy 2 straights if you can transfer and go up 3, 4 stairs, and then transfer and then go the rest of the way up. So we look at all options and try to give you solutions. So those are stair lifts. These are the lifts that I was talking about. If you have a lot of stairs and you cannot, actually have the footprint to put a ramp on, this has to be actually whatever you have existing, your existing, porch or deck has to be completely barrier-free. Because everybody who has a porch or a deck in the back of their house, there's always still that lip to get up. So we have to reconfigure that entire entryway to be barrier-free, and then put in the electric and create and build the vertical platform lift, which is, it's amazing, and they last. We have some that we put in 14 years ago that we still provide some maintenance on it, but it still lasts. It's a great product. But for somebody who is in a wheelchair walker, oh my God, it is such a game changer. They can get out of their home. If they don't have, this is about $13,000, $14,000 installed. But, you have to kind of look and see. I just want to give you some ideas of what these things cost. So let's go to doorways. So now you're faced with, now I'm in a wheelchair or walker, and I'm having difficulty maneuvering in my bathroom or getting into my bedroom or my entryways. That's a big deal. I hear that so much, that, I'm going sideways into my bathroom now because I am now using this walker, or I'm in a wheelchair now and I can't navigate into my bathroom. So we get so many calls for that, and there's some really great products now that will help you create a more accessible space. And one thing that is a super easy fix is this offset hinge, which you see there on the left. These are like $15. This will create the door to move its way out of the doorway. So you're gaining about 2 inches. So when you open your door, you still have that much of the door thickness in your doorway. Honest to God, there's so many people that are like, this has just given me that extra inch I needed to get myself in the door entryway. So this is an offset hinge. It removes the door from the doorway and it swings out. When you're in a wheelchair or walker, it makes sense to flip the door. We do this a lot too. We flip the door so that the door swings out instead of in. Because if that person has any need, or has fallen, or has any issues in that bathroom, and their wheelchair or their self is blocking the doorway, you can't get in there to help them. So it makes a lot of sense if now there's a new way of doing things and you're in a wheelchair or walker to change your doorway to come swinging out. And we also talk about, let's make things accessible. This is a, the levers instead of knobs like this. If you're changing anything out, universal design means if you have arthritis or anything that changes, it's hard to do knobs and toggle switches and things like that. So this is like $29 to change out this to a lever with a return so you don't get hooked on it. Just really makes sense. A lot of these products that are universal design concepts, like when you have this type, these are like $1, and these are your rocker switches. You could hit it with your head and turn the lights on. Sensor lighting is so cheap, and it makes a lot of sense, especially when you're coming from the bathroom to the bedroom. That's where you mostly have a lot of falls. Put sensor lighting there so that you don't even have to think about it. Because lighting really, it makes a big difference. If you have one bulb sitting there and that bulb goes out and you're a senior or you're somebody who really doesn't have, no stepping on the step stools, you don't want to create an issue where you might fall. So we always recommend doing, redundant lighting. So you have you can get 3 of them at Menards, 3 fixtures with 2 bulbs in each one. and do an intermittent with the light bulb so that if one goes out, you always still have a light there until somebody can help you change it. Just think about things like that when you're in your home, like, wow, you know, it makes sense to make these changes. Let's do. So bathrooms is one of the biggest reasons that we get called. We cannot now maneuver. We want our tub taken out. We need a barrier-free entryway. It's hard to see this. This is a beautiful, doesn't look institutional at all, right? It's a beautiful shower. It has a linear drain here. So this is what we were talking about. It used to be that all your draining would come into that one drain hole in your shower. A linear drain is more of a sloping, and it has a line drain, and it creates more stability when you're standing as well. When you have that the drain going into one drain hole in the middle, that is more of a tripping hazard or a fall hazard than this type of a draining system. And again, this is beautiful. You have your controls right there. Now Alexa has these products where you can speak, Alexa, turn on my shower to 120 degrees from your bed. And KOHLER, we're consultants for KOHLER, so we tell them what the problems are for anybody that has mobility concerns or disabilities, and then they create a product. It's kind of like this big symposium. So they came up with where you could speak to your faucet. I want 8 ounces of water. So somebody who has a mobility concern or blind, or there's so many things out there that really help people. It's just really fun and it's exciting. We're going to do a whole entire continuing ed program on new technology coming up this year. So a couple of questions, or a couple of, you know, here again, there's your linear drain. We love, if somebody now is in a wheelchair, walker, or seated position in a shower, we like to, we bring the shower head from up there, we bring this down with a diverter. So now everything is coming through the side and not from the way top. So you can be seated in your shower. You can have your controls here where this will turn on the shower head and the handheld. So now you're warm while you're using the handheld, and it's going all the way down to your toes. It's a really cool new thing. So it just makes it for a better experience, and it's not that much money to change that out. Here's another gentleman that took his tub out. He's in his 40s but wanted to, you know, age in place. So he took out the tub. We put some seating in there, and those doors can come out in 10 minutes, and he has a barrier-free entryway. So if at all possible, if you are making changes, keep those things in mind. You know, it's reported that it gives you about 70% return on your investment to create that shower rather than have the bathtub. Now again, there's also realtors that say keep your bathtub if you're selling to a younger population, but these have a really great return on your investment. There's so many different types of seatings. These flip down. There's again where I was showing that the handheld comes right out on the side and not the way top. More linear drains. This is where the best place to place a grab bar is just coming vertical in and out of the shower. So if you're putting one good grab bar in, that's where you want it. Or coming in and out of the garage, those couple of steps where you need some support. Vanities, these are vanities that have grab bars on them. That'll support like 450 pounds. So you can wheel up to that and put all your weight to a standing position on that. So there's, again, just wanted to show you that there's so many different products that are for accessibility. Toilets are a big deal. We love talking about toilets because, number one, everybody's getting hips and knees, and it's hard, you know, getting back up. So the Comfort Height toilets now are about 17 inches. They also have a new toilet that's 21 inches. And if you've gone into somebody's home that now needs their toilet raised, or they have, you know, one of those donuts from the DME on top of here, instead of that, we put the base on the bottom to bring the toilet up, the existing toilet up, so that everybody can use it and feels comfortable. So, you know, I just feel like you want to make sure that no matter what your needs are, this is a bidet toilet seat. We love these seats. This is a game changer for those that are wanting to toilet themselves no matter what age they are or what disability they have. This thing has, it lights up, it has a docking station, it has, 3 speeds, a man, woman, child, a deodorizer, and a dryer. I mean, you're like in the car wash when you come out of it. So, we put this one in for a young man, 19, that had the use of his left arm. And his mother was taking care of him all these years. We put in an accessible shower and he was completely independent in the bathroom. It just gives you the chills. It makes so much sense. These are coming down in price a lot too. This back in the day when we put his in, they're like $1,200. You could get them at Costco cheaper, but they don't have warm water. Who wants that, right? Nobody wants cold water, no. So, and it has controls on both. We told KOHLER we had to have a remote and controls in case they leave the remote and bring the TV remote back. We were getting that kind of issue. So, anyway, bidet toilet seats, huge. There's other solutions for somebody. This is a sensor ring for like 20 bucks. You can, instead of having to hit that toggle switch, you put a sensor there and you just wave it and it flushes. This is a great product. This toilet can gain you about 10 to 12 inches in the bathroom because the tank's actually in the wall. So sometimes it's super hard to maneuver in a wheelchair or walker. Now this being put into the wall will gain you that much room to get it in and out, and we could put it at any height that you want. You just press 1 and 2. It's easy access if you have to, do any maintenance to it, but it's a great product. And this thing, we tested, we put 3 guys on it. It'll hold like almost 600 pounds. So just hanging on the wall, you think, oh my God, how is it gonna, be support? But it's a really great product for those that need more room in the bathroom. We're not a big fan of the big walk-in tubs. This thing is over $10,000, and it has a reservoir down here and a toe tap drain, but you still have to climb in and out. There's still a fall risk, and when you have those walk-in tubs, you have to get in there, sit down, shut the door, fill it up so it's cold till you get it filled up, and then you have to wait till the drain goes all the way down for you to get out of that tub. We've had people call us to take their tubs out because their mother was in there all night because the drain wouldn't go down. So that's why KOHLER created this one where you can toe tap it into a reservoir if that happens. But barrier-free showers just make sense. They're so much safer. They really are. And believe me, I have like 1 million people coming up to me saying, I don't want to get in a shower. I've done a bath all my life. My own mother is like, I need a bathtub. So we have a couple of solutions for that. I feel like these are really expensive. You don't get a return on your investment by purchasing these, and you still have a risk getting in and out. There's still a lip there, and most people, when you're selling your home, will want you to take them out. So just a bit of advice on that and the feedback on that. And this is the pole that I was talking about. I love this thing, and you guys, we make fun of it. I get a lot of, people making remarks, I don't want a pole in my bedroom. But here's an example of one of the, I do a lot of support groups, and this was a Parkinson's support group where she was so afraid of pulling her husband in and out and getting him into his wheelchair every morning. She was afraid he was going to fall on her. She was going to hurt her back. So we suggested this, and it's tension mounted. You have to install it correctly. You could buy these again on Amazon, but people have installed them incorrectly, and it's caused problems. But I will say, when it's installed correctly, that arm swings and locks in every 45 degrees. So when Marie had this installed for her husband with the Parkinson's, she moved it towards him in bed, and he can use it to turn at night. And then he swung it out, and he was able to pull all of his weight to a standing position without her getting him out of bed. And then he was then able to sit in his wheelchair. So it has just been in the shower. All the women that I talked to that wanted to stay in the bathtub and they didn't want to take their bathtubs out, we put this next to the tub and it swings in and out so that you have that support getting into the bathtub and out. And it really, for $300 some installed, it's a great product for somebody who needs that stability, whether it's by the lazy boy or the couch or the bedroom or the bathroom. So love this product. You know, here's just some other ideas in accessibility that you know, they come up with. This is a full functioning kitchen that, you know, just the independence, and independence at any level. If you have a new diagnosis, you just want to age in place, make these changes so that it makes your life easier. I had another person, we did an automatic door opener because she was so frustrated in her wheelchair trying to get in and out of the garage ramps. Which, another quick point on ramps, if you have an attached garage, then I would recommend, if you can, put a garage ramp in there. It's much less expensive. It's in the $2,000 range. And you're out of the elements, you drive up, you know. This gentleman, when we put her automatic door opener in, she was frustrated going up that garage ramp and then having all of her stuff and trying to open the door. So she punches a code in her phone and the door opens. So some of these things really make a lot of sense. You got to look at what you're using every day. Really some good examples of this is, again, the sensor faucet, sensor lighting. Make sure everything is well lit where you're maneuvering in your home. This is a microwave drawer. Everything is drawers instead of cabinets now. You know, how much is it a risk when you are getting into your microwave over your stove? I mean, it's such a poor design, you know. Now they have these coming out of the drawers, which somebody in a wheelchair, it's all accessible. They have the dishwasher. This is the example of the dishwasher. That's a drawer. There's the automatic door opener. That automatic door opener can be placed on sliding glass doors and regular doors. We do a lot of lifts, and we can put them from the bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen and to the front room. We could put it throughout the whole house, and they're not as expensive as you think it would be. It's in the $4,000 range. Pot fillers, just things like when you think about universal design of, you know, I can age in place in my home if I make these accommodations. If you're thinking about changing anything, think of that type of concept. Our company, we're certified to go and do assessments, and we do a 1-hour free assessment in your home. And I have brought some kind of, this is an example of an assessment, and they're over there. And it's a good checklist for you to go through every part of your home and just kind of see what you think might need attention. And if you feel like, wow, this could be a risk for me, we could come out and give you, you know, some advice and some solutions. So we consult, we evaluate, and then we also install. But again, if you are going to take somebody and get a couple of different quotes, make sure that that CAPS certification is with that builder. Because certified aging in place, they're going to be using really great guidelines, your ADA compliance, universal design. They look at those things, and it'll make you a better experience for aging in place. So that's my presentation. Does anybody have any questions or concerns of somebody that they're working with or a family member? If you do, if you need an assessment, this number on the brochure, you can call and get on the schedule. Again, it's free, but it's also good for just asking questions. You know, what is this? I need 2 grab bars in my, you know, just get some good advice and get your several different quotes. I do have a couple of pictures of things that are before and afters of people that have wanted their tubs out. So if you have any questions, I can send you. Just my card's up there. You can email me if you want pictures of that security pole. But thanks again. Thank you so much for listening to me. Remember the grab bars, Grab Bar 101.